Welcome to Bill and Jalen's NBA Playoffs Preview.
Bill and Jalen's playoff preview. It makes me sad to ask this question, but we have to ask it. Wade, Duncan, or Dirk? Which star is the closest to not being a star anymore, Jalen?
We have to mention Kobe Bryant in this conversation. And the reason why
Is he still in the league?
Because he still has 2 years, $49 million approximately left on his deal. These guys are playing this year. So even though Wade only played 51 games, he still has a chance to make a playoff run with the Heat. And Tim Duncan is playing on the team that has the best record in the entire league. Dirk deserves to be all NBA. He's still balling.
Are you okay with me voting Dirk number 5 for MVP?
I am. When you get a chance and you're bored out there, look at the Mavs roster, okay? We're not talking about the Sean Marion in Phoenix or the Vince Carter in Toronto or New Jersey.
Yeah, by the way, switch Dirk and Kevin Love, and I'm pretty sure Kevin Love's not winning 51 games with that Dallas roster.
Yes.
Because that's a worse roster than what he has. Better coach, but worse roster.
Correct. So the answer to this question, I'm going to go with the guy that plays the least games.
Dwyane Wade.
Dwyane Wade. As a perimeter player in the NBA, it's hard to stay around for as long as you see Kobe and Nash. There's a reason. Because the game gets faster, it gets more athletic, and you got to guard these guys. Like all of a sudden, he went from having to guard players that were probably 6'5" or 6'6" to now he's got to guard Bledsoe when they come to town in a small lineup. It's tough to be a perimeter guard, especially one that takes the ball to the hole so fearlessly like Dwyane Wade and that acknowledges that I need to take the night off.
A good example here is Mitch Richmond. Dwyane Wade was a much better player than Mitch Richmond.
Right.
Mitch Richmond just made the Hall of Fame. Not sure he should have when you consider Sidney Moncrief and Kevin Johnson and Paul Westphal, guys like that haven't made it. But when Mitch Richmond, when it ended for him, it was abrupt. And a little bit of that maybe had to do with he wasn't on the no sugar diet like Nash, and maybe, who knows, his body was breaking down, whatever. But shooting guards, if you don't develop that second stage of your career, it can end pretty quickly. And the thing I see with Wade is he never became a good three-point shooter. And that was the one thing he never added to his game that I felt like could have extended it, and it could have saved him some miles. He still has to go to the basket, and he's got to rely on long twos to get his points.
How about this? Chris Bosh has made 2 times more threes this year than Dwyane Wade.
Dwyane Wade is really one of the worst three-point shooters from a volume standpoint in the history of the league.
When he's playing, he's still a 20-plus point scorer. He's still shooting over 50% from the floor. And I do think he's going to have an impact in this year's playoffs, because if I had to pick a finalist to come out of the East, it would be Miami, based on the fact I think he's going to still have it to close out this year.
Yeah.
But when you look up in 1 or 2 seasons, it's a lot easier to be a 7-footer like Dirk or Duncan to be still productive as opposed to Dwyane Wade.
The lack of free throw attempts, I think, is a concern, too, because that was such a big part of his game. He'd get to it's like James Harden now. Like, if James Harden went from 10, 11 free throws a game to 3, and he wasn't shooting threes anymore, then what am I watching? Wade's always been, he's a great long two guy. Never really added the post-up game he needed, but I think Dirk's the furthest away. In my opinion, Dirk's got a couple more years at a high level.
But for all of those guys, to give them credit, their 48 minutes are still on par with some of their best seasons.
Duncan and Dirk especially, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Duncan retired if they won the title.
I don't blame him. He should. That'd be a smart move.
I wouldn't be surprised if Duncan retired if they didn't win the title.
Now, this time next year, we'll have to see if a Kobe Bryant is in this conversation.
Every player has an odometer. Karl Malone, indestructible. Laker season, finally gets hurt, boom, out. Kevin Garnett, hit 50, 60,000 miles, I forget what the number is, all of a sudden is down to playing 20 minutes a game. Jalen Rose, mid-2000s.
Yes, indeed.
You have so many miles on these.
Yes, indeed.
They're like tires.
Correct.
You can't fix it once it's gone.
And 2 things that remain undefeated, besides women and besides Father Time, because both of them are undefeated.
Yeah.
Streets and gravity. Undefeated.
What happens if Father Time dates women?
Father Time loses. Ask Adam and Eve.
That's it for Bill and Jalen's 2014 NBA preview. We hope you enjoyed it. We just did
Give the people what they want.
We just did 3 solid hours, so I hope that made up for the lack of the fourth Birdmaster, and we will see you on NBA Countdown. We're going to be on every weekend on ESPN and ABC every Sunday, most Fridays and a couple Saturdays. Check Jalen's Twitter feed, my Twitter feed. Check your DVR thing, but we are going to be on a lot, and you can look forward to watching my weight dwindle as the playoff goes along and then spike back up if we're in Texas or San Antonio. And last thing, we want to thank Axe for bringing peace and harmony to our 2014 playoff preview.
Let me tell you what I truly like about Axe. They're a sponsor of ours. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
I thought you were going to say peace and harmony reminded you of two people at a gentleman's club. That
Don't get fired.
You might have paid. Can I get peace and harmony in stage number 3?